Ah, recording software crashed. That's good. We're in the boathouse. Fuck yeah, boathouse. Unlike the ordered armies of the Jade Empire, the Horse Lords favour lightly armoured units of horsemen, who can move rapidly over the field of battle. Moving like a rushing tide, small groups of horsemen harry all angles of their opponent's flanks. Armed with bows, almost to a man, these mounted archers can rain destruction upon unprepared foes. While the Horse Lord tactics are surprisingly effective, their men lack the discipline of the Imperial Army. For all the damage they can inflict, the Horse Lord forces have difficulty holding strategic locations. But now, the Jade Empire exists in an uneasy peace with the Horse Lords, leaving the savages to their arid lands north of the seat of Heaven Province.
Be careful. Trust no one in this place. We are a long way from your idyllic little village.
And it's doing that thing where it gives me XP for reading stuff. I hate when video games do that. Unnecessary combat roll.
So, I hear you helped out Baker Bay today. Gave my boys a bit of a lesson, didn't you?
I want to know the truth.
They took it pretty hard. Even after all the beatings I gave them over the years, they still aren't used to losing to a girl. Maybe the humiliation will be good for them.
Why are you picking on Bay?
Everyone thinks that Bay and that little seamstress make such a nice couple.
Oh wow, he
but
wasn't
Bay
lying.
already promised to marry me.
He promised to marry you?
I know what you're thinking. Why would Bay want to marry someone like me?
Was it a childhood promise?
I may not be a delicate little flower like Lon, but I don't want to run this gang forever. Someday I want a husband, maybe a little house, kids too.
Me too.
Bay promised to give me all that. He promised to marry me, and now he's trying to weasel out of it.
It was
but
a childhood
promise is
wasn't
a
it?
promise. I won't forget that, even if he tries to.
I need to look into this some more.
Yeah, you do that. Go tell Lon what kind of man Bay really is. See how she likes it when she finds out her perfect fiancé proposed to another woman.
Dude, it was a childhood promise, calling it now. Hey, guard.
You got something to say, you say it to Eiling. She's in charge here.
Unnecessary combat rolls. Dude, I'm just gonna take all your stuff because you let me in and it's your fault. Boathouse key. For some reason, they just let me do that. No one is stopping me. This is weird. Smash your vase. Slick gem. Dude, I'm fucking robbing her. To the west of the Jade Empire proper lies the land of howling spirits, a range of sheer mountains and desolate haunted passes. Not many men dwell in this harsh land. It does not support much in the way of communities, and those who dwell there are hardy mountain folk who rely on themselves and their herds of goats more than trust in nature. There is one exception to this rule. High in the mountains lies a secluded monastery, home to a reclusive and mysterious order known as the Spirit Monks. They tend an unknown charge in their sealed monastery. No one, not even an emperor, has been able to discover what lies within. The monks possess strange powers, but they exist in balance with nature. Eventually that land will be absorbed, and the Empire shall learn its secrets. Well, we know the secrets, but that's because we're a spirit monk. And if I must say so myself, the best of the spirit monks. Dude,
You got something to say, you say it to Eiling. She's in charge here.
You're gonna let me leave? They're gonna let me leave. Just let me. I just robbed them and they let me leave. Oh, you're such an intimidating bunch of bandits. Ba 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 ba. I don't even remember where that dude was. Tea house, seamstress Lan, old masters, scholar 6/7s. Ruse Barge, Darting Lynx, Minister Sheng, Merchant Chung. Dude, where is that guy? I don't even remember his name. Eiling and Bay. I don't remember where they were. That was like 10 minutes ago. Fucking hell. Okay, we're going to go wandering until we find them. What we can say for certainties is it will only be somewhere we've already been. Well, they weren't peasant man and woman.
Did you find Bay? Were you able to stop the thugs from hurting him?
The thugs work for a woman who's interested in Bay.
A woman? What is her interest in my fiancé? Do you know who she is? You have to talk to her. Tell her to leave him alone. He's mine. Make her leave him alone.
I spoke to her.
You did? What? What did she say?
Her name is Ai Ling. Bay promised to marry her.
He promised to marry her? That slug! That slithering snake! How could he do this to me? I'll never marry him now. Never!
Maybe you should talk to him before you do anything rash.
Don't try to defend him. He used me. He lied to me. At least I found out what he was really like before I married him. Thanks to you. Here, take this. It's my dowry.
I shouldn't have done this, but...
I certainly won't use it to marry that snake Bay. I can't believe he had me fooled like that. I think I need to be alone for a while.
Damn it. I shouldn't have done that. I need to go and speak to her again. It's alright, we'll do it very quickly.
Trust no one in this place. We are a long way from your
My bad.
So, they took... Yeah, okay. If he has the...
That's what I
Lan,
should have done.
what are you doing
That's
here?
what I should have done.
I figure we better get all the secrets out, Bay. If Lan's going to marry you, she should know what kind of man you really are.
She said there was something I need to know, Bay. What's going on? What is she talking about?
Ai Ling claims Bay promised to marry her.
What? Bay, how could you?
I didn't. It's a lie. I haven't spoken to her in years. Not since we were kids.
Don't pretend like you don't remember, Bay. It was summer and we were sitting on a little raft catching fish. I was upset because Li Shan had called me ugly.
With my weird bent neck.
I was crying, so you took my hand and said, I think you're pretty, Ai Ling. And someday when we're grown up, I'll marry you.
What? But that was years ago. We were kids. We were only 6 years old. You can't hold me to that.
Seems like you're being unreasonable, Ai Ling.
Kids say all kinds of things, Ai Ling. Remember when you took my frog and I called you a bully? You swore you'd never speak to me again. But that same day you gave me the frog back. You said you'd never, ever, ever do anything to make me unhappy. Kids always say things like that. It doesn't mean anything.
It meant something to me, Bay. You were the only boy who didn't tease me, the only one I liked. You promised to marry me, and you're going to keep that promise.
With your weird broken neck and looking up. Lan and Ai Ling should fight the win against Bay. Wait, Ai Ling, you said you'd never make Bay unhappy.
Well, yes, I did say that. But that was when we were still friends. Now he pretends like he doesn't even know me. He's changed.
Probably because you're a bandit leader. You changed too.
Yes, but... well... you're right. I know you're right. Bay's right. We were just kids. I guess I can't hold him to his promise. You win, Lan. Bay is yours.
If I had more, I would gladly give it to you. But my family isn't rich. This dowry is all I have. Please, take it with my thanks.
Keep your dowry, Lan. I was just happy to help.
After all you've done for us, now you are letting Lan keep her dowry as well? Your generosity knows no bounds. I'm overwhelmed.
Dude, he's not that
You've
much of a
done
catch.
so much for us, and we've given you so little. Wait, I know. We will name our first child after you to honor your memory.
I'm glad everything worked out for you two, and I'm sorry, Bae. I don't know what came over me. When I heard you and Lon were getting married, I just snapped.
Might be a weird broken neck.
It's okay, Eiling. I hope things work out for you.
He's not that much of a catch.
Come on, Bae. Let's go.
Now let's rob her. Oi. Anything else?
I hope things work out for Bae and Lon. After everything I put them through, they deserve it. I don't know what came over me. It's just... Bae was my last chance to have a family. My only chance to find a husband. When I heard he was engaged, I realized I'd never get out of this life I've created.
You could still find a husband.
What respectable man would ever want to marry a girl like me? Even the lummoxes in my gang would only do it because they're afraid of me. This town is short on eligible bachelors as it is. I mean, there are a few guys out there I know of, but none of them would be interested in me.
What a coincidence.
I have a reputation around town, and having my boys beat up Bae didn't help any. Any half-decent man would probably run if they saw me coming.
Maybe I can help you find a husband.
Ha! You really think you can pull this off? Tell you what. You find me a decent husband, and I'll make it worth your while. My, business ventures have been very profitable.
Nice.
But don't think I'm desperate enough to settle for just anyone. I've got my standards. And I'd have to meet him first, of course.
Tell me about the town's bachelors.
Let's see. There's Rue the bosun, but he's nothing but a drunk. My boys have had more than a few run-ins with him over the years. He's definitely out. Chuman the craftsman is single. I don't know him that well, but he seems like a good man. He has a home in the southwest corner of the town. And then there's Yaru. He used to be a sailor traveling the Empire, but now he's looking to settle down. He might be a good catch. Spends most of his time in the tea house.
Anyone else?
Not living in town, and Tien's Landing doesn't get a lot of visitors.
I'll be back once I find you a husband.
Yeah, right. The pickings in Tien's Landing are mighty slim for a girl like me. But if you find someone, just bring him back so I can meet him. And, well, good luck.
Well, I'm not going to be cruel and, I don't know if it's cruel. I don't think she'd appreciate him. I think she'd turn him down straight away. I don't think she's the bear my children kind of wife. Again, I'm not an expert on romance, so... eek. So what have we got? I guess we finally got to go up there. I forget which one she said she was meh about. Someone in a tea house, maybe? I wasn't really listening. That happens with me. There's the burnt building they told us about.
Pretty.
Wo afawer sun urk vonir ook. Oeksier sa fiet kup wo sarkir.
Stop, thief, come back with my sword.
Put that sword back, lout! Surely there was never a minister as unlucky as Minister Sheng to suffer such insolence.
Koni onu you tashika wheel fonil sataraponi?
And still poor Minister Sheng suffers the insults of tradesmen who know nothing of justice. Where would I put the lout? My jail has been burned to the ground, along with my office, I might add. I have no place to put thieves, so stop questioning your betters.
So there's Minister Shang. There's Peasant Man and Peasant Woman. Together they fight crime. There's another sailor. There's a small child.
Life seems normal enough here. You could almost ignore all that has happened.
Do you want to talk, Sagacious? No, doesn't want to talk. Combat roll into someone.
This is bad. Oh, this is bad. River dried up, pirates everywhere. This is worse than the long drought.
Who the hell said that?
Yeah, get on with your
John.
day, youngster. We're just passing time.
Old way.
Hey? What do you want?
Who are you?
I'm Wei. Some call me Old Wei, but that's because they don't know Old Chan. If I'm old, he's ancient. He's at least a week older than me. Of course, we're both pretty old compared to most of the people in Tien's Landing. Why, most of them don't even remember what it was like before the flood.
Tell me about the flood.
18 years ago,
Oh, Waka the
Emperor
23rd.
Sun was young and flush with
No,
success
Machen.
from ending the drought. He began public works all over the empire, including the great dam downriver. The workmen came and started building it near our town. We were not engineers, and so we were not sure what it would mean. Some worried that it might flood us out. Most were unconcerned. After all, if there were any danger, the Emperor would tell us, surely. But one day, the great dam was finished, and the floodgates were closed.
Foolish peasants. What happened?
The town flooded. We took what we could and fled. Mothers ran about screaming for their children who'd gone out to play. Children screamed for their dogs.
Dogs
Some
scream for their
folks
kibble.
climbed to the roofs of their houses and refused to leave. But we survivors straggled upriver. Some collapsed from exhaustion, but the water kept rising. I carried a boy and a girl, and I saw another boy fall, but I couldn't carry him. Finally, I fell over too, and when I woke, I found the water had stopped rising.
Go on.
The great dam had created an enormous lake, and we settled our new town on the banks. The lake completely covered the ruins of our town. Life went on, but no word ever came from the imperial city. No warning, no explanation. Did we displease the Emperor, or were we just beneath his notice? I will never know. The crewmen who manned the great dam would come to town sometimes, but they knew no more than we. I will go to my grave never knowing.
No one here will talk about the ruins.
The people started a new life here, but there was much pain and sorrow. Conversations would trail off. At night you could hear women sobbing, and not a few men. Finally, people stopped talking about the past, and then they refused to talk about it altogether. And eventually, they pretended it never happened.
I saw my ruins on the way here. They aren't underwater.
A few months ago, the Emperor's engineers and soldiers left. They just went off in the night. Soon after, the Great Dam opened on its own. There wasn't anyone around. The water drained, revealing the old ruins. And underwater these 18 years. And now they're back.
It's only been 18 years?
I don't know what made the Great Dam open. Some say it was ghosts. They say those who died in the town don't want to be forgotten.
No one here will talk about the ruins.
The people started a new life here, but they...
I already... You never sought revenge?
You look like you know how to fight. You look like you can stand up for yourself, so you don't understand. We are villagers. We farm and fish. We live at the mercy of the gods, nature, and the Emperor. If one or all of these masters is kind, it is good. If one or all choose to be cruel, well, there's nothing we can do about it. We just have to get the fish hauled in.
I'd be screwed. I hate eating fish. That's why I'm so stupid. Thank you for telling me your story.
Oh, thank you for listening, youngster. Not many do anymore.
I'm going to punch this vase. I'm not going to punch this vase. Merchant Chew.
Ah, I see the glint of intelligence, nobility, wisdom, consideration, and piety in your eye. A fine day to you. What can I sell you?
That's a lot to see in just a glint.
Well, I make my living by knowing people. I can clearly see that you are of the finest sort. That is to say, the sort with silver ready in hand. Can I interest you in some seed? What about a pitchfork? I have hay as well.
Do you sell wind maps?
I'm afraid I do not. Just a few years ago, you could find wind maps everywhere, although only the rich needed them with their airship racing. Recently, the wind maps have disappeared. I know that when the Emperor's men left Tien's Landing, they took all the wind maps with them. There are those who say... but it is not important.
Tell me.
Some say that Death's Hand is collecting all the wind maps and destroying them so that only he and his minions may travel freely about the Empire.
That makes sense.
However, I do not believe such talk. I believe firmly in the goodness, kindness, and wisdom of our Emperor and all those around him.
So no one has wind maps beside Death's Hand?
I suppose there may still be merchants in the Imperial City who have some, and they were once so widely available that there must be some here and there. But I do not have any, nor do I know anyone who has one.
Then let me see your wares.
I have the finest selection of seed, I carry excellent baskets, wonderful fishnets, and superb boat scrubbers.
Do you have anything useful, like weapons or magical items?
I have a cloak so warm it's like a weapon against the cold. I have a scrubber so good that it cleans like magic.
You don't have anything I'd want, do you?
Just figured that out, did you?
A completely unfair assertion. After all, who wouldn't want a basket so big you can carry 2 babies in it?
Where am I going to get 2 babies? I'm done speaking with you.
Very well. When you're ready to spend, I am ready to sell.
I don't have babies to hand to put in baskets. This is fucking madness. Hey, Merchant Chong.
Konio nuyu, koki tatasinan. Sun puno onuyusir taikunpa ipanano pir ni wonun.
Let me be. An honest merchant used to make a good living in this town, but those drunken sailors have stolen most of my goods. I have nothing to sell you. What have they taken?
Wonoir efuir uk sunorgfonir sier sisitu. Sata afsoir uk napir anir ninpir.
Most of what is missing is perishable items, grain, baked goods, and fruit. There is little chance of getting them back, and they're hardly worth the effort.
Owo sair uyukap tantarundano wo tarwair shathir owo.
The only thing I'm really upset about is a clay figurine. Yesterday, Tong, one of the sailors, took it. There was nothing I could do to stop him.
Wo kausoir noka wowo tarwair shaksiro finopifu.
The figurine isn't worth much, but it belonged to my mother. I wish there was some way to get it back. Is there something I could do to help?
Wo noir efuir uk sunorgfonir sier sisitu. Satha afsoir uk napir anigir ninpir.
Normally I would look to the local officials to help, but as you've already seen, Minister Sheng can do little about these sailors, and nobody in town can help.
Uso sier utak tarwair shathir owosu.
We are just simple villagers. Tong knows he can do whatever he wants to me and get away with it. I'll go talk to Tong for you.
Wo quair ano uyu, kubkithir soso wawer wakwakir tower wo.
Thank you. Tong and his friends are usually off getting drunk near the storehouses, past Beggar's Pier in the southeast corner of town.
Wo kausoir noka wowo tarwair shaksiro finopifu.
If you can convince him to return my mother's figurine, I'll give you a discount on all my merchandise when it arrives. Right, let's talk to Minister Sheng.
It is not easy to be Minister Sheng, beset with troubles and doom, and now interrupted by some difficult stranger. Truly, can you not see that I am busy watching my career slide into oblivion? Minister Sheng simply hasn't time for your petty concerns. I have problems of my own.
What kind of problems do you have?
This backwater pimple of a town lives off of the lake created by the Great Dam. But the Great Dam is open and the lake is dry. The town is dying. Under my supervision.
Why is the Great Dam open?
I have nary a clue. Unless... very well, you've convinced me to talk. It is dangerous to say anything, but I am a brave man. It was that horrible Inquisitor, Lim. Lim oversees the Lotus Assassin operations in this area. A few weeks ago, he came to town and demanded a key to the ruins. Then his men went up there and opened the Great Dam.
Why did they do that?
Inquisitor Lim has his assassins searching for something, though what it is I couldn't say. Minister Sheng knows better than to stick his nose in the business of the Lotus Assassins. I didn't want the town to panic, so I kept Lim's presence here a secret. Better the peasants think it was ghosts. A much less terrifying idea.
Is there anything I can do?
Some brave soul must travel through the old ruins, which are absolutely not infested with ghosts, and close the Great Dam. The gate to the ruins is locked, but I have a key. I cannot order or even ask someone to go do this. If the Great Dam closes, the ruins will flood. Various assassins and soldiers will be killed. Not good for my career. But if I happen to lose the key and someone happened to find it, the town could be saved and the problem solved without any sanction from me.
Hey, what did you just give me? Is that a key?
What are you talking about? I haven't given you anything. Although I will need that back when you're done.
Good man, that man.
Oh, and I am certainly not going to tell you that the ruins can be reached by heading across the footbridge and out the west gate of town. It wouldn't be proper.
Would you happen to not know anything about flyers while we're at it?
Minister Sheng remembers when flyers were reserved for the wealthy elite of the Imperial City. Now pirates use them to raid the countryside. Disgraceful. I suppose in theory you could find a flyer at the pirate camp upriver. In practice, however, I doubt you would find the pirates very accommodating. I suppose Rue the bosun is mad enough to take you if he's drunk. Yes. Rue is surely the only one who would make the trip. And then the pirates would kill you.
Has a fleet of flyers passed by recently?
I recently saw a large fleet of flyers pass by. Minister Sheng held out hope that they had come to escort him away from this demeaning post and back to the Imperial City. But the flyers never stopped in Tien's Landing. They headed upriver towards the pirates' camp. No doubt they went there to refuel, though where they are now I could not say.
What can you tell me about these pirates?
The pirates are just one more affliction that plagues this troubled town, and yet another headache for poor Minister Sheng. They raid the surrounding countryside, swooping down with their flyers to capture slaves. Do you know how bad it looks when someone under my jurisdiction is captured by slavers? Fortunately, they haven't attacked the town itself yet. Gao, the man I hear is running them, knows that would draw too much attention.
But there are pirates wandering all over this town.
The drunks clogging up the streets aren't pirates. They're only traveling merchants, sailors who were trapped here when the dam was opened. Minister Sheng finds them to be an annoyance, but not a concern worth worrying about. If the dam is closed, they will simply disappear. Not like Gao and his pirates.
Did you say Gao was in charge?
Yes, I believe that was his name. Gao. An unsavory character by all accounts. There are even rumors he is connected to that infamous crime syndicate known as the Guild. The pirates have been operating in this area for many years, or so I was told. However, things became much more serious when Gao took over. The pirates started using flyers and gathering slaves at an enormous rate. I imagine things are very unpleasant over at their camp. Not that I'm willing to go take a look.
Let's go back to my other questions.
Nothing would please Minister Sheng more.
Where can I find Rue the bosun?
Rue announced 3 days ago that he was going to close the Great Dam, but first he stopped at the tea house for a bowl of wine. As far as I know, he's still there.
Where is the tea house?
Minister Sheng has been reduced to a tour guide. The tea house is the large building just down the hill from here, near the entrance to the town.
Goodbye.
Yes, yes. Go and leave Minister Sheng alone to ponder his troubles. Now go close the Great Dam, and I never said that.
Sweet. The airing of grievances, being a collection of the indignities suffered by Minister Sheng at the hands of his backward shanty town of Tien's Landing. His hat has been soiled. A parchment was stolen from him before a speech at a community gathering. His cat was viciously threatened. A chair at his table was placed backwards. His finger was slammed in a door, not once but thrice. An egg was thrown at him by an unknown assailant. His cart was stolen, filled with soiled garments, and then returned. His face was ridiculed by young children. His prized tonberry was squashed. It was suggested that he perform acts of deliberate indecency upon himself. He was forced to suffer the interminable and petty gripes of the people. His hair was accused of being impermanent and false. The honour of his family was impugned. He suffered a disabling attack by a pack of bees. His reputation was maligned by brigands. Brigands! A local dog evacuated in the minister's shoe. He was given a gift of turtle eggs by a visiting merchant. It was suggested he would be able to trace his lineage to a simple courtesan. He was referred to as Smelly. He slipped in mud, no doubt placed in his path by jealous townsfolk. Sailors burned down his office.